You are now entering an unfiltered news and politics zone. With the Breeze Bullies, Jug and Jefé Tha Don.
We don't care.
Too much, man. Too much.
Gotta love it, man.
Another episode.
Another one.
Oh
boy. We back.
Hey, welcome to the Breeze Bullies podcast.
Go ahead. Jug.
This is the homie Jug.
Jefé Tha Don. At your service.
And we are the Breeze Bullies. We're using our pulpit to bully your perspective.
Indeed.
Or pressure your perspective.
That's right. Got you thinking, make you think different out there so you can see what's going on. You know?
For those of you that are new to the podcast, welcome. Remember to share with a friend who's like-minded. Right?
Tell everybody.
Yeah, tell everybody. You know, some people will rock with it, some people won't rock with it, but it is what it is.
I think they're going to like it, though, you know? breezebullies.com.
Yes, and always visit the website so you can see where all of our news is sourced from. Our political commentary is based on today's news and topics. Be very clear. Some of the news that you're going to be seeing, you're not going to find in the mainstream.
Indeed.
So for those who who like the mainstream media, like that mind control, go right ahead.
But here, you're going to find the truth. Your source for news and politics.
That's right. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So, oh man.
So listen, we're still in election mode.
Indeed, it's like we can't I wish it would be over by now, man. Meaning that I want to know, like we need the outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Because I know some people listen like, wait, but there is an outcome. It's already the 15th of the month, right? There is an outcome.
Yeah, there's an outcome, but it's a soft outcome. It's a soft outcome. I know some are going to get a little angry about that, but it's truth. It's the truth. It's a soft outcome because, as we've been saying and others have been saying, look, it's not over until the state certified results sing. Right. That's really what it is.
Right. And that certification won't take place until mid next month.
That's right.
Right, and remember what's happening at the same time. The president is contesting several states. Right,
a lot of legality, a lot of legal stuff going on.
Irregularities. A lot of the states are razor thin margins. Right, as far as would trigger automatic recount. So that's the first thing.
Indeed.
Second thing is he didn't concede. Third thing is that he's suing in the states that have voter irregularities. Now, I want to use the word fraud, but the media narrative is there's no widespread, there's no indication of widespread voter fraud. Right? And remember, you have to pay attention to the word widespread.
We call these kind of things true lies, because what the media does is, okay, let's say you got a basket of a dozen eggs, right? And one of those eggs is rotten. One. They'll take that one rotten egg and paint the whole basket as being rotten. And that's how they get you. That's how they get you. So
it's like you said, true lies. It's like it's the truth is buried in there somewhere. It's for you to uncover it and see like what's true and what's not true.
What isn't true,
right? So with the voter irregularities or the voter fraud is concerned, there has been thousands. Well, right now we're going into the thousands of affidavits, right?
Thousands,
right? These folks are filling out what we would call sworn affidavits. Now, for folks who are not familiar with the whole affidavit situation from a legal perspective, that's basically like you getting on the stand, going under oath.
It's a sworn document.
It's a sworn document, right? And each affidavit carries a penalty of perjury, depending on which state you filed it in, right?
There are penalties for false statements.
So there are penalties for false statements, right? So, for example, in a state like Michigan, what I've read is that you can get up to 15 years for false statements and perjury as it relates to filing fake affidavits.
It's no joke.
So we have to really start looking at how how are these people really risking their freedom on something that may not be true?
And that's the funny thing about it, because you have the media saying, oh, these they're denying the existence of a fraud, and they're pretty much trying to tell everyone that, look, that these folks are going to come forward and perjure themselves deliberately. No one's going to do that. No one's going to do that.
It's almost ridiculous when they say it like that.
It is.
Like to think that people would actually put themselves and their freedom and their livelihoods on the line to put a false statement that from up front that is going to be punishable. Even if I solicited a fake affidavit, then I can be at risk of perjury and at risk of those type of times.
Yeah, it would be a dangerous thing for people to do, but just from the sheer number, we're talking about there's a mountain of evidence, a mountain of legal evidence that we're going to hear in the forthcoming litigation. So for the media to come out and say that this is all fake and false and none of it is true, that to me is beyond belief.
And what's funny about it is that the lawsuits really center around the fairness in voting, right? Where some people whose ballots may have been incorrect, if they were Democrat, they had the ability to get a call and fix their ballot before it was actually counted. The other irregularity they were talking about, or the impropriety, was not having a Republican.
And no Republican poll watcher
to basically look at any ballots that came in which were basically only absentee ballots.
Right? Absentee ballots. There were areas where irregularities where there was no signature verification.
Right. In some cases, no signature verification
on the absentee ballots. You have ballots that were coming in after the date.
Right, which were backdated by the Postal Service.
Fraudulently.
Some backdated by the actual place of polling, or where they were basically being delivered to. Yeah. So you got a lot of irregularities, a lot of votes where technically probably shouldn't count. I think Giuliani, who's the head of Trump's legal team, Rudy Giuliani, the old New York mayor, that we used to all know, love, and hate at the same time.
Real talk.
But he was essentially saying that from his count, he's at the very minimum of 650,000 ballots that should be that are illegal.
That's just in Pennsylvania.
That's just in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So we're not even talking about.
We're not even talking about
Wisconsin
and Michigan and that sort of thing,
and the other states that are allegedly involved in the whole thing.
So this can tilt the election.
Indeed.
And we're not even talking about the other allegation from Miss Sidney Powell, and she's also an attorney on Trump's team.
Sidney Powell,
who used to represent, or who still represents, Michael Flynn, who got his charges almost thrown out,
pretty much,
right? And he had Fed charges on him, and she was so good in getting him exonerated that he was being offered a pardon by the president, and she refused it because she wanted him to basically be exonerated in court.
She's thorough,
right?
Yeah.
And her assertion is that the voter software that they use, which is from Dominion Software, that's the name of the company, was basically I guess a software that was open to attacks and voter interference or election interference.
Exactly. They're saying that this software, there's so many back doors in it. We're talking about like this thing was like a piece of Swiss cheese. It was so bad that it was actually rejected by certain states. We're definitely rejected by Texas because Texas
saw that it has security issues.
So they rejected it.
And that you couldn't trust the integrity of the voting machine itself.
Exactly, and it's weird because if you go back and look at some of the mainstream media headlines a couple of years ago, they were talking about the the voting systems in general not being secure. And now they've done a total 180. And now they're saying, oh, everything is secure when it's not secure. So this is a very interesting thing to watch here. You know,
it's so crazy because, you can literally see Democrats saying the same thing 4 years ago.
Exactly.
So they were all about talking about it. They said that they have Elizabeth Warren and some other senators who were expressing concern over the same software, and that it was brought to the attention of the FBI and the CIA, and no one did anything about it.
But now it looks like the reckoning is coming, And to those that are just joining us that don't believe or still don't believe what's going on here, you just have to look at the facts of what's happening. The mainstream news narrative is that Trump lost the election fair and square, but something here doesn't really add up. Trump allegedly lost the election. And how on earth are the Republicans picking up so many seats in the House of Representatives and projected to maintain the Senate? So how does the president of the same party lose and the party itself make gains? It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Let's go even deeper than that, right? They said they needed about 17 to 18 seats to flip.
Yes, in the House, the Republicans needed that much.
The Republicans are at 12.
12. And counting, because there's still races that are still being counted.
And some might flip when the voter fraud is actually brought to light.
Exactly.
But the funny thing is that you got places flipping in California.
New York.
You got places flipping in New York who are blue, right? Inherently blue. So again, the question does go back and says, okay, how do you win all these congressional seats? Don't lose the Senate and then lose the presidency in the fashion that he lost the presidency. That's the first question. And then the other question really is that why did these states stop counting? They all stopped counting all at the same time.
Definitely an anomaly.
In all of those states where he was ahead.
It's an anomaly.
And then they all stopped counting. And then when we woke up in the next morning, it was something different.
It was gone.
So a lot of statisticians are coming out and they're showing a lot of the anomalies and they're showing a lot of different things. And we just got to wait for the evidence to come out and see the day in court. Because I'm not taking any real position per se on it. Mm-hmm. I just know that it looks funny for those who have a critical thinking mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just let it unfold to its logical conclusion.
That's it.
Let's see how it all pans out. And I've told people, we both told people this before as well. It doesn't matter whether you voted a Republican or Democrat, you voted for Trump or Biden. Right now, the integrity of U.S. elections is at stake. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because if we can't trust our voting system, then we are banana republic status, and that's a problem. The free world cannot be that. We cannot be this way.
Well, according to the attorney, she says that she's going to release the Kraken. for those who are old enough to remember that old movie, she's going to release the Kraken, which is the monster, which is supposed to blow up the corruption and the election process in this country. I don't know if people are ready for that, right? But we're going to talk about that in a few seconds when we come right back.
We'll be right back.